very close. Waters shoulder to shoulder, head to head, nose to nose. Free house, Silver Charles, Captain Budget. Oh, it's close.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Laurel Park Weekly. It's Thursday. We're doing the show on Thursdays now, September 28th, and we're live here by the historic paddock at Laurel Park. I'm Stanton Salter along with Dave Rodman, Ty Ellis, and what a big weekend of racing we have coming up here at Laurel Park. It's the Commonwealth Turf Stakes Day as we have 8 stake races on the grass featuring a bunch of nice Virginia breds and 3 graded stake races. The comeback of the Baltimore-Washington International Turf Cup. It's a grade 2, some nice turf runners in there. Great to see this historic race back on the calendar.
And with the 12 races on Saturday, Stan, a reminder we do have an earlier post time. It'll be 12:30 Saturday, this Saturday only. Normally 1:10, a 12:30 tie. Oh, what a spectacular weather weekend we've got coming up here, too, along with all the stakes action.
Should be fast and firm, Dave, and I think will probably be one of the premier signals in the country with all that stakes action. You got a couple graded stakes, like you mentioned, Stan, and it's just going to be big, and the handle should be up there, and the payout should be bigger.
Yeah, if you like turf racing, we have 7 out of the 10 races on Friday's card. 7 of them are on the turf, and then 8 turf stakes for you Saturday, part of our class on the grass, featuring the Grade 2 Baltimore-Washington International Turf Cup and a couple Grade 3s as well, the Commonwealth Oaks for 3-year-old fillies and the Grade 3 Commonwealth Derby for the 3-year-old males. So we'll get to all that. Let's start with the first of 8 stake races on Saturday. It's going to be the 19th running of the Burt Allen Stakes, and Special Envoy is going to be a 2-5, 1-5, heavy favorite in here for trainer Arnaud Delacour. This horse has won his last couple races here at Laurel Park. Here's his win in the Hansel. This was early August, and I remember he wins by 8 1/4 here. And I remember talking to Arnaud in the winner's circle after he won this race. Where are you going to go next with Special Envoy? He said, well, I think there's a nice for little Virginia bred stake coming up in September. We'll wait for that. So Special Envoy is going to be fresh and ready to dominate Virginia breds once again, I think.
He'll be a solid favorite, and he's a nickel to $1 last time out on the yielding ground here at Laurel Park. He really ate up the yielding ground, dominating that field. There was no Rosebriar in that race. He had since retired from that runner-up finish behind Special Envoy back in June, and Special Envoy had room to roam all on his own in the Hansel Stakes. Anybody can beat him in that race? I don't know. I mean,
it's going to be tough. I think the outside River Date speed with Michael Maker, first time in his barn, first time on the turf too, but he's about 20% with that angle. So if you're looking to beat the horse, I mean, you're going to get a good price on a Maker horse, and we've seen him pop it a couple times.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to beat the Special Envoy. But River Date would probably be who I pick, speed on the outside.
I throw Speed Gracer in there in the exact. A nice allowance winner last out here on the grass at Laurel Park was 3rd behind Special Envoy in the Hansel for Susan Cooney. So I go with Speed Gracer, but we're all going with Special Envoy in the Burt Allen, named after the late colorful Virginian who was named Burt Allen, of course, the father of Ferris Allen. He campaigned Miraclewood back in the 80s. Here's what trainer Ferris Allen had to say about Mr. Burt Allen, who's this race is named after, to kick off Commonwealth Day here Saturday.
It's a real tribute to our whole family that a race is named after Dad, and you were lucky enough to know him, so you know what a character he was, and you know, people are never going to forget him, and this is one thing that keeps his legacy going.
And, of course, Ferris trained Miraclewood for his dad back in the 80s. They got to the Preakness, and they won some nice stake races. And you remember Burt Allen from Colonial Downs. It always come dressed up in a colorful tie, right?
Well, he had the ladies around him everywhere he went, in the winner's circle, in the clubhouse, everywhere. Yeah, he was a character. And, of course, Burt Ferris's family, the whole Ferris Allen family will be here to make the trophy presentation as they usually do.
All right, so the 19th running of the Burt Allen Stakes, the first of 8 stake races on the grass. The Burt Allen will be on the Fort Marcy, and the Kelso turf courses all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all weekend. weekend, matter of fact. All right, let's get to the second stake race of the day, which will be in race 3, the Brookmead Stakes for filly mares 3 and up, going a mile and a 16th on the Kelso turf course here. We have a video spotlight of Sweet Sandy. Last time Sweet Sandy was on the Laurel grass, this was back in the William Backer, almost a 14-1 upset. Here she comes with Jevion Toledo from way back. And she ran up to Saratoga last out in a grade 3, ran okay up there. She's paired up a couple 86 buyers. Here she comes, Sweet Sandy, her last time here at Laurel Park.
A little unlucky was Armois. That was yielding ground. We're going to get some different conditions this weekend, Stan. We did have a course record come tumbling down here at Laurel Park with that firm going I believe it was last week here at Laurel Park. So, again, that was yielding ground, a lot of cut in the ground there. I think helped Sweet Sandy. I think Armois is probably going to turn the tables on her this time around. She was just caught, looked home a winner, but there was Sweet Sandy rolling home.
If you had winner on Armois that day, you were counting your money at the top of the stretch. But they did go 48 on the yielding ground. I think Sweet Sandy was a little bit of a setup horse right there. It was a bit of a price, 13-1. I'm not going to go back. I'm going to go with Armois in here. Queen Caroline, though, too, is going to be dangerous. Armois, Queen Caroline have kind of knocked heads back and forth before. They were probably the two that are going to get most of the attention in the betting.
Yeah, so Queen Caroline's best when she can kind of control things at a more moderate pace, and she ran a big one last time out at Suffolk there in a restricted stake. Was behind Sweet Sandy running third, the video we showed you there, but again, there was a lot more pace up ahead, even though you saw 24-1 and 48 change. That was a pretty good pace considering the yielding ground. The pace perhaps not quite as quick for Sweet Sandy's big kick this weekend.
It'll be second time blinkers on for Queen Caroline. I'm going right back to Sweet Sandy. I might not get 13-1. Maybe I'll get 7, 8-1. Jevion Toledo had a big day last weekend, winning 3, I believe, last Saturday. So I'll go with Sweet Sandy over Armour. Queen Caroline will be right there. How about Secret or Not? This 5-year-old mare has been hanging around, running against these Virginia-bred horses, been running against tough 2 other than Allowance Company here at Laurel Park. She is a 3-time winner here at Laurel Park, and her trainer, Ferris Allen, thinks she'll like the firm turf course she's going to get this Saturday a lot better than her recent races where she's run over a soft turf course.
She's a real nice, consistent filly. She's probably not as fancy as a couple that are picked ahead of her in the race, but we get a little different surface this week. It looks like we've been running over softer grass, and the grass course has sped up, and we think that might help us. We'll see how that goes.
Now, Secret or Not gets the Hall of Famer Edgar Prado to ride for trainer Ferris Allen. Prado had a big upset winner. Our last big stake Saturday we had here, Always Thinking. What a $50-some winner. Can Prado do it again here, Secret or Not? It'll be a nice price.
Well, hard to overlook a horse who loves the course so much, that's for sure, and you get the bonus and Edgar aboard.
All right, so nice, be a nice addition of the Brookmead, going a mile and a 16th on the Kelso. Nice maiden special weight race 4. We don't have time to talk about that, but I tell you what, the 4 non-stake races Saturday are some nice races as well. A couple nice maiden special weight races. It'll be a huge betting card. I believe we did over $4 million on this day last year, and hopefully we'll do more than that this year. Let's take a look here at the punchline. This race for 3-year-olds and upward, going 5.5 furlongs on the Fort Marcy turf course with the rail at 87 feet, and I think 2 Notch Road. The 10-year-old can do it again here. Let's show you his win in the Meadow Stable. I thought maybe the 10-year-old had lost a step, but here he comes from way back like he likes to do. He's a 3-time winner on the Laurel grass. This win came in the Meadow Stable on a yielding turf course. Tried grade 3 company last out in the Turf Monster at Parks. Gets back to much easier Virginia-bred company. Here he comes, 2 Notch Road from far back to win last out at Laurel.
Yeah, been lightly handled by Glenn Thompson for sure, Ty, but that's really kind of paid off, hasn't it, this 2 Notch Road?
Yeah, I think this was another case of the yielding ground that was playing a little bit to the closers that day. You've seen the turf course. We've seen records here fall the last couple of weeks. We haven't had any rain or precipitation. So the turf course is going to be playing quick. I'm going to go with Awake the Day in here. Going to probably be the speed. You're going to get a price. I'm not going to buy Two Notch Road. I'll probably use on a ticket to protect me a little bit. But I think this is just going to be a wide open race. So I'm going to do Awake the Day, who's going to probably be the controlling pace in here, and I'm hoping she can hopefully take the race wire.
She's going to go on the Oakley, I think. I'm my guess. I didn't saw. We tried to catch up with Robbie this morning. We missed him. My guess. I don't know for fact, but my guess is she goes against the filly mares in the Oakley.
Cross-centered, yeah. Two Notch Road last time, got to remember, was beaten 4 lengths only by Pure Sensation, one of the top turf sprinters in the region, if not in the U.S., depending on who you would listen to. But I mean, he's a solid horse, Pure Sensation. So you're beating 4 lengths at 75-1, and a Grade 3 turf monster. He's coming back to Virginia Bred Company today. Just when you think he's lost a step, he steps right into the winner's circle, right?
How about this horse, the 6, Crypto's Holiday, an interesting horse for trainer Doug Fowl. This horse was a second at a big 40-1 price a couple years ago when he was 2 in the Jamestown. That was going 5.5 on the turf. He's been going long on the turf, mostly recent. Since then, a nice win going a mile on the dirt against Allowance Company last out Delaware. So this 4-year-old son of Harlan's Holiday in good form right now. He'll be coming late with Katie Davis. Crypto's Holiday maybe at an upset here in the punchline.
Gate to wire on Delaware with slow fractions on the dirt, but he's been able to close ground on the grass, which is a plus for him.
All right, let's turn the page here. Race 6, we have a video spotlight and a soundbite here for you for the Oakley. This race for filly mares 3 and up, going 5.5 furlongs on the Kelso with the rail at 35 feet. And all right, Awake today, I think she's going to go in here, Ty, but she's going to catch some tough monsters in here. Maybe. You're right. Maybe she ducks Exaggerated in this race. Maybe she ducks Exaggerated for Delacour, who's going to be your heavy favorite. Maybe she does duck Exaggerated and goes against the boys in the punchline. We'll see.
I think the punchline came up a little bit softer, so that's why I thought they would probably put Awake today. I don't know, though, in the punchline, but we'll see here in the Oakley. We got a couple really good horses. Exaggerated on the outside for Arnold Delacour. He could have a huge day. I think I'm probably going to single this horse a little bit in the pick 6 or pick 4s going forward.
Exaggerated?
Yeah,
all
Exaggerated.
Right. Yeah, Cummins' second start this year as a 5-year-old mare. She's a 2-time winner over the Laurel Grass. She won the Oakley a couple years ago here at Laurel Park. The one lone race this year, tough $100,000 stake turf sprint at Keeneland. That was back in the spring. She's been working lights out up there at Fair Hill. She catches an outside post here. Could that compromise her, you think, Dave?
Well, the thing that concerns me about Exaggerated is she really went off form in the White Oak at Pimlico last summer, and she was 30 cents to $1. And believe me, the bridge jumper knew that. I believe there was somebody who plunged a show on her there. She probably could have run back earlier this season against Virginia Breds, and she hasn't. So, I don't know. Coming off a time away from the races, I mean, perhaps a little bit vulnerable coming back. I mean, certainly her best form would probably win against this group, but I wouldn't blame anyone for trying to pick against her on Saturday.
How about the 2 Northern Eclipse? Hugh McMahon and owner Toby Roth have done very well with this 5-year-old mare. She won last time she was facing Virginia Breds in the Camptown. She gets Katie Davis. Those 2 are red hot. I like Northern Eclipse behind or right there, maybe an exacta box with Exaggerated.
I ran against Sylphide last time out, Ty. I mean, that was good. Open company coming to Virginia Breds now. You're beating 2 lengths against a mare who's in super form right now on the turf course for Sabelli.
Yeah, Northern Eclipse, another horse that's cross-entered in the Brookmead also, but this is the 1 turn. The Brookmead's 2 turns. She's been running against doing the 1 turn, so I think she'll stay in here. Do What I Say, the Michael Trombetta horse, right to the inside of Exaggerated. I love the name out of Not What I Do. I think it's a clever name, but I think this horse finishing 3rd in the Camptown 2 back. That was on a soft ground, yielding ground, but right before that in the M. Tyson Galiffin won this race by an open length, or won that race. So it could, Do What I Say could round out the exactas.
You got good combination there. Larry Johnson having a great year, the breeder and owner of Do What I Say. Michael Trombetta winning everywhere, it seems nowadays. Every time you turn around, he's having a good meet here at Laurel Park and all along the East Coast and winning races in New York as well. So Do What I Say, an improving filly here, daughter of Street Magician.
All right, let's show you a video spotlight here of Northern Eclipse back in early August. This was the last time she was facing Virginia Breds. This was in the Camptown. She won wire to wire this day with the 76 buyer. J.D. Acosta was aboard this day. Katie Davis will ride today. She's a 4-time winner now here at Laurel Park. Katie Davis and Hugh McMahon, they're a solid 23% together. So this is going to be one of my top picks in this race. I think I'm going to pick the 11 Exaggerated on top. That's good enough there. We know she wins the race. We're running short on time here, guys. Let's show you a soundbite as well from Lacey Gaudet, who has a long shot in the race. First off the claim here for this daughter,
She
Quality
came out of that
Road.
last race great. It's kind of quick back. The owner originally claimed her for a broodmare prospect, so we're kind of looking to get some black type on her this weekend. Well, she was great in front last time. Forrest knows her really well. She's ridden her, I'm pretty sure, her entire career. So we're really going to leave that in the hands of Forrest. She drew all right. It looks like the toughest horse is on the outside. There is a little bit of speed, so we're going to kind of hope that Forrest knows her a little bit more than we do. But she came out of the race in great shape, so we're going to give her a try.
All right, maybe a nice claim. Well-bred 3-year-old filly by Quality Road out of a Meadow Lake mare. She won against Maiden 16 Company last out. Now big step up against Virginia Bred Stakes Company. But the barn's been going well, and Forrest Boyce having a nice meet as well. So long shot play maybe there in the Oakley. What do you think?
I guess Larry Johnson wins either way. If that filly wins, he bred that horse right, had it for Trompetta. So he's got a couple of angles going for him on Saturday.
All right, let's get a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll start with the graded stakes action. We have 3 graded stakes races for you this Saturday. We'll start with that right after this. Welcome back. This is Laurel Park Weekly previewing the big weekend. A couple nice carryovers for you on Friday. 10 race card on Friday, 7 races on the turf. We have 8 turf stake races for you on Saturday featuring 3 graded stakes. And let's start with race 7 here. This is the grade 3 Commonwealth Oaks for 3-year-old fillies going a mile and an eighth on the Fort Marcy turf course rail at 87 feet. We have a video spotlight of In the Lee for the Hall of Famer Shug McGahee and owner breeder Stewart S. Janney III. Janney trying to win this race for the 3rd time in a row. He won it a couple years ago with Onus. In the Lee looks like another nice filly. She's a 3-year-old by Tappet. This was a nice win going 9 furlongs against A Other Than Company last out. Now she steps up against Stakes Company. Is she ready?
You said the word, steps up against Stakes Company. This is going to be a much tougher group for In the Lead to tackle on Saturday afternoon. That was her first time with Lasix. She's responded well there, but the question is the quality of the field she beat versus what she's going to be facing on Saturday. The French-bred filly, Rimska from Chad Brown. Here's a typical Chad Brown runner. He's really gotten her to settle down since moving over here from France. Had some speed at Belmont in the 2-year-old debut. Was 5th, beaten 3 lengths at 12-1. The Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf gave her a little time off, and as a 3-year-old came back to win the Sweet Chanta graded race at Gulfstream from off the pace. So, I mean, I think she's just primed and ready, wound up like a clock for Saturday's performance. Rimska.
I think In the Lee, Dave, is actually going to be the value play in here because you got 2
will.
Browns in here that are going to take all the money. In the Lee's probably going to sit 6 or 7. I'm with you, Stan. I'm going to use In the Lee on top. Rimska, I'm thinking this is only the 2nd race since the Breeders' Cup last year. Long layoff since Gulfstream Park. I'm thinking they're just using this as a prep race for something bigger down the line. Going to take a lot of money, but I think could be vulnerable, and In the Lee could be sitting perfect.
I use her in my top 3. I don't use her on top. I pick her 3rd. How about Chubby Star for Sagamore Farm and Horacio De Paz? She's been running against heavyweights all summer long. She was 2nd against the boys in the James Murphy on Preakness Day at Pimlico, and since then a couple grade 3s and then a decent 4th last out up there at Saratoga. She gets Jose Lascano to ride. She's 1 for 1. She broke her maiden and debut here at Laurel Park. I like the 8 Chubby Star I pick on top in this race.
Yeah, well, she was 4th, beaten 3 lengths to Proctor's Ledge at Saratoga and the grade 3 Lake George and that pretty much says it all. Aside from running second against the boys, against Yoshida and the Murphy, against straight 3-year-olds now. I mean, she certainly fits in this spot. I mean, in the lead's got a lot to do, I think, to beat this field. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
And Chad Brown is going to have one of the favorites with Rimska. How about the other Chad Brown filly? I picked second, the 7 to Purge, a 3-year-old filly by Tap It out of a Jablar mare, coming off what, a decent size layoff, 4 to 8, coming off a 4-month layoff, last out up there at Saratoga, going a mile and 3/16. That was an impressive win up there. Got a strong 87 buyer. I think this is a nice filly by Tap It. You get Nick Juarez, who won the Black Eyed Susan this year. He started his jockey career here in Maryland. He's riding up in New York now. I like the 7 to Purge to be right there. And this is a tough race here, the Grade 3 Commonwealth Oaks.
Yeah, he's riding for top outfits like Chad Brown, so he's getting on some good fillies up there. She's kind of a sneaky filly. Looks like she's improving a little bit. I mean, I said that the other Chad Brown runner is going to be wound up like a clock. It's too bad nobody uses clocks anymore, Stan. I guess I'm a little.
Mike Maker's also got a horse. I'm Betty G. He's going to be the pace better.
Right.
Could be dangerous. Finish second in the stakes. Good stakes at Indiana Grand last time.
Did I miss something with the clock thing? I've been known to have jokes go over my head.
Everybody uses digital now. I don't know. It's just like I guess it means it could be a bad pick is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
Well, no, I think she's a well-bred filly. That was a strong win at Saratoga last out, the 7 to Purge. I like her over that French-bred Remska filly coming off the layoff. So it's a tough Grade 3 Commonwealth Oaks. Let's turn the page here. The feature of the day, the comeback race of the year. This race hasn't been on our calendar in a while. Glad to see it back. The Grade 2 Baltimore-Washington International Turf Cup. $200,000 going a mile. This race will be run on the Kelso Turf Course with the rail at 37 feet. And I thought Grand Motion was going to put Irish Straight in this race, and we had a video spotlight pulled for that horse. Irish Straight not in here. Ring Weekend is in here for Motion. What a tough race this is. The Hall of Famer Roger Atfield, he ships into town with a couple heavyweights, and I pick his horse, Tower of Texas, the 6-year-old by Street Sense, who's been running against nothing but Grade 1, Grade 2 company. I pick Tower of Texas on top here in the BWI Grade 2.
Second to Tepin there in the Woodbine Mile back in 2016. Has the win since then. The Grade 2 stakes, 7 furlongs on the turf at Woodbine. Yeah, it's good. Atfield's got that. Got a couple on the plane shipping down for Saturday stakes. So it's truly it's kind of international. Really got an Irish bred, a horse bred in Great Britain, a Canadian bred with Texas in its name there from Atfield, and of course a lot of people are going to go back to black type, and I don't blame them, from the Christophe Clement barn. Black type seems to be kind of the horse in form. He's faced the best horses in here. He's a winner at Laurel Park. He won the Commonwealth Turf Cup last year, which is really now the Baltimore Turf Cup.
Yep, gotcha. Yeah, Caramanos will ride this horse, a good third in the Dixie earlier this year behind World Approval. Who do you pick on top in the BWI, Ty?
Projected. Chad Brown's got bringing Projected in here, taking the blinkers back off, put the blinkers on last time, didn't like him, tossed that last race. Second in the Lure, which was a stakes up at Saratoga, but finished second in the Dixie to World Approval, who has won 2 Grade 1s since then. So I think Projected is going to be tough to beat in here.
All right, so it's a nice field, 8 runners, and we could see some big things from these runners later on this year down the road against Grade 2, Grade 1 company, because that's the caliber of runners we have here in the Grade 2 Baltimore-Washington International Turf Cup. Going a mile on the Kelso Turf Course. Let's turn the page here. Race 9 is the Jamestown for 2-year-olds, going 5.5 furlongs on the Fort Marcy rail at 87 feet, and we have all kinds of stuff for you here in this race. Let's show you first video spotlight of the 7, Yes to the Dress. One of my top picks in this race, 2-year-old filly by Congrats. This is her win against Maiden Special Weight Company at Delaware last out. Now she's going to make her turf debut today for trainer Ron Milquette, who's stabled here at Laurel Park for the fall meet. Jose Lascano will ride this filly. I like the speed on the outside here. I'm going to pick her second behind the Susan Cooney runner, number 4, Graceful Request. Well, your thoughts here on the Milquette filly, Dave?
No, she's a half to Miss Lombardi, who was 3 for 10 on the turf, so you would believe that she should like the 5.5 on the grass. I mean, she's okay sprinting on the dirt. Miss Lombardi, $137,000 in winnings on the grass there for Yes to the Dress, a half-sister to her.
Dave, I'm actually opposite on Dave. The horse, the dam of Yes to the Dress has thrown 15 winners, and only one of them has been a winner on the turf.
Miss Lombardi.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think there's too much turf underneath. I think on form, Yes to the Dress is obviously the best in here, but I don't think she's going to take to the turf as well, and I think it's an absolute spread race.
I'm kind of leaning the Stan's horse. I mean, I think she'll run big, but Stan, I really like that middle move from Graceful Request last time out as a maiden against Wise Gal.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we got to get to her in a second. We got to show you the soundbite. We got all kind of stuff going on here. Brittany Trimble, hit it. Brittany Trimble, the assistant trainer for Ron Milquet.
She shipped in well. She was over at Delaware she won at Delaware last time out. Took her out this morning. Everything was good. She felt good. Ready to go.
All right, so that's Brittany Trimble. I appreciate her time letting us into the barn this morning. I picked the 7 Yes to the Dress second. I do like the 4 Graceful Requests who you were talking about. I love the Scat Daddies on the turf. And, yeah, coming out of a tough Wise Gal race. Wise Gal came back to win the Salima. Sheldon Russell stays aboard. She's going to have to be on her game here and step it up here because there's a bunch of nice horses up and down this race.
How about another Susan Cooney in there, the one Wolverette? She's by Shanghai Bobby. Shanghai Bobby's having a pretty good year as a sire. He's the sire of a Pletcher runner, I think it's a Pletcher runner, March Express, who was a stakes winner sprinting up at Saratoga. So a couple of maidens in here with a chance to kind of upset the apple cart against Yes to the Dress, a winner on the dirt.
The trainer Ferris Allen has a first-time starter in here by Include Here and Now. Some nice works here at Laurel Park. They paid $90,000 for this filly as a yearling at Keeneland. They get Horacio Caramanos to ride. Here's what Ferris Allen has to say about his Include first-time starter in the Jamestown.
Here and Now is a filly that we really like. She's well meant. She was a $90,000 yearling, so we like the filly. She's a very well made filly. We were hoping to get a race under her belt before the Jamestown, but she's ready to go, and the turf is a question. It's 50-50 whether she's going to take to the grass or not, but she's ready to go, and we'll see where we do.
All right, she has a 5 furlong work on the tab, 3 nice half-mile works, couple nice half-mile works from the gate, and you get Caramanos aboard this Include filly Here and Now.
Yeah, it's there's several maidens in the race, but it seems to me maybe a 1 or 2 of them with a little bit of racing experience might have the edge.
All right, so nice race there. The Jamestown for 2-year-olds. One more stake to go, and it's a Grade 3, the Commonwealth Derby for the 3-year-old boys, going a mile and an eighth. This race will be on the Kelso with the rail at 35 feet, and we have a video spotlight of the Todd Pletcher runner, the 2, Master Plan. Here's Master Plan's win. This was at Delaware Park in the Stanton Stakes back in June. It was second in the Grade 3 Kent. After this, went up to Saratoga early September in the Grade 3 Saranac and kind of fell apart up there. Voodoo Song won that race. Voodoo Song is going to be awfully tough to beat in this race, but you never can count out Todd Pletcher. You get Sheldon Russell to ride Master Plan.
Yeah, he was 23-1 though against Voodoo Song in the Saranac, so didn't get a lot of attention up there in his last start. He's really going to have to turn it around, I think.
Your thoughts on the field here in the Grade 3 Commonwealth Derby,
Voodoo Song ran well at Saratoga, won 4 races up there. Never behind at any call in the race. The turf was playing really quick up there, all meet. So I'm going to go with Bronson. Michael Maker, the 7-horse. Daniel Centeno is aboard. A good third at a stakes race at Kentucky Downs last time. Has some good tactical speed, should be sitting good, and you're going to get a bit of a price, I think, of Bronson.
Yeah, I mean, when people look at the race on paper, they're obviously going to see the massive speed of Voodoo Song. Anyone who's watched Saratoga or tried to beat speed on the turf at Saratoga probably still crying with that crying towel. But so Voodoo Song had that speed favoring Saratoga course to his favor in many of those spa races, but he does have a high degree of early speed. If they let him loose up front, he could hang on to win. But I agree with Ty. I mean, Bronson, a second time here from Maker, off the race at Dueling Grounds. Michael Maker, this year Laurel Turf is 3 for 4. He said started 4 horses on Laurel grass. He's won with 3. Yeah. I mean, he's got one in earlier. I think we spoke about a little bit, perhaps with a chance to upset. Another horse maybe up at Shug's Profiteer, Stan. I mean, he really turned it around with an 8-1 win That's a spot coming from off the pace up there on August 26th at a mile and a 16th.
Yeah, I got a strong 93 buyer up there. I like the 5 Profiteer. I use that runner in my top 4. I use Voodoo Song on top. Looks to be lone speed. I like Just Howard. I think Just Howard's a nice horse. He's won his last 3, his last 2 against Stakes Company here at Laurel Park. I think he'll rally to be right there for Graham Ocean and Fergal Lynch.
He's done what he could against state breds, and now he's really going to have to try to see what he's worth against some open company here. And kudos to Skedaddle and Graham Motion for giving this race a try. I mean, he just may be improving enough.
It'll be a jump for him, but he's got a good late kick.
Yeah, he
so
does.
I wouldn't throw him out.
Likes the course.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's the local preview for you for this Saturday. If you missed the Grade 1 race last Saturday, let's show it to you now. West Coast by Flatter for trainer Bob Baffert. That's right, Bob Baffert with another nice 3-year-old. Here's West Coast winning the Grade 1 Pennsylvania Derby, going a mile and an eighth up at Parks. And so this is a 3-year-old picture, wide open. West Coast won the Travers. Now the PPA Derby. Is West Coast the best 3-year-old right now, Dave?
Yeah, the Travers winner comes back here. The Pennsylvania Derby, his 5th straight win. I mean, I think a lot of people are checking that West Coast box or shuffling the pencil over in that direction right now for top 3-year-old with this impressive performance.
Who's your top 3-year-old, Ty?
It's got to be West Coast. It's got to be tough also to be Mike Smith's agent. Who do you take in the Breeders' Cup Classic, Arrogate or West Coast?
It's not tough to be Mike Smith's agent. No, that guy, he'll figure it out. I have faith in him. I have faith. He'll be just. Don't worry about that guy. No, that guy's all right. All right, in addition to our big 8 stake races on the turf this Saturday, the feature out there at the Great Race Place on the West Coast, the Grade 1 Awesome Again, 4-3 and up at Santa Anita, going a mile and an eighth. Cupid's going to be one of the horses to beat in there for Bob Baffert. No surprise. Your thoughts here on the Grade 1 Awesome Again, Ty? Here's Cupid's last race.
Yeah, Cupid. This was in the Gold Cup out at Santa Anita and really ran extremely well. Won by 3 lengths in here. Ran bigger than I expected, and tough to beat Bob Baffert too. I mean, this might be your 4th best string in this division behind Arrogate and Collected, and not to mention you got Moob Tahij here. Midnight Storm is going to be a pace presence in here. Is going to from Phil D'Amato's barn. Cupid is going to take a lot of money, but I think he's very beatable in here.
Yeah, well, Moob Tahij, I mean, 4th against Arrogate Gun Runner, Neolithic in the Dubai World Cup. Retooled, adding the blinkers, and now Baffert brings him to the West Coast for a try. I mean, maybe the blinkers on will turn him around a little bit. We'll see if he puts any more speed into him. I would think he ought to be tough given the company he faced last time out.
The return of Dortmund also. He'd been going to the one mile, stretching out to a mile and an eighth here. It's going to be a fun race. Santa Anita, our sister track, they got a ton of graded 1 stakes up there on their opening Saturday.
Yeah, I like Dortmund. I saw a workout of him on XP TV the other day. You get the Hall of Famer Gary Stevens. Dortmund, my upset pick in the Grade 1 Awesome Again. That's it. We're out of time. Big weekend of racing here at Laurel Park. Friday kicks off the race weekend. Don't forget, early post time on Saturday, 12:30. First race post time on Saturday. 8 turf stakes for you, featuring 3 graded stakes. Should be an awesome day. We hope to see you here. Good luck this weekend, guys.
All righty. Good luck, everybody. Come on out. Weather's going to be great here at Laurel Park. What, 65 Saturday? How about that, Stan?
Beautiful, beautiful fall weather here in Maryland. For Ty Ellis, Dave Robin, I'm Stan Salter. Good luck. We hope to see you at Laurel Park this weekend.